I look for simple answers to most of the problems that afflict us or the opportunities that come in front of us. And this time, it's a very simple looking problem, that of water. It's Bengaluru today, it was Chennai yesterday, it could be Hyderabad tomorrow, or even Delhi. As a maverick observer of the Indian economy, these voyages of discovery fascinate me just as a large number of my friends have found them to be equally fascinating. They have subscribed. But when you do subscribe, please remember to also click on the bell icon. What does it do? So that every time I put up a new video, you will get an intimation. Otherwise, you don't get. And we don't want that to happen. On with our story. Water supply is one of a rising crisis, and it does not offer a simple solution. This is something that we need to understand. But there is a lot that we could do if we understand how the causation works. But first, let's get some facts to start our story, as we always do. Bengaluru, unlike what people might think, has not been a case of bad management. The World Bank, in fact, has run this project and has said that Bengaluru, or rather Karnataka in all, is on the way to have 24/7 water supply, and this is a report from last year. Let's go a bit further. The Council for Energy, Environment and Water has actually rated 502 urban local bodies, and based on their assessment, this is what they show. Haryana is the best performer, Karnataka a close second. So by no reckoning is Bengaluru a case of bad management of water. But then what's happening? Let's unpack the water problem. Water has two issues when it comes to cities. First of all, water supply. In most cities, in fact I would say in all cities, is controlled by the state government. Bengaluru is no exception. This is what you can see. What happens with other cities also is the same thing. Delhi, for instance, the Delhi Jal Board is run by the state government. You can look up in your city, the same things happen. But what happens to the water when it goes out of our houses? That is called the untreated water or the wastewater. Handling of that is the ambit of the municipal corporation, and it's a huge amount of water. Again, the CEW report says that about 96,000 liters of water, 96,000 kiloliters of water, let me make the correction, will be available by the year 2050 if all the treated, or if all the wastewater that comes out of the cities is accounted for. That's a big number. So essentially then, water coming into the houses is the state government remit. Water going out of the houses to be treated and again put back into our houses is the remit of the municipal corporation. Now that immediately creates a problem, because who has the incentive and how will the system be integrated? There are ways to do it, but my point is that if the state government is the one who is controlling the entire purse, the municipalities won't be able to do it. There's also another point when we talk about the purse, which is water has to be charged. You see, unlike air, water might seem a public good, that it should be available to everybody. But unlike air, which we breathe and is available despite pollution all around, water is not a public good, in the sense that water has to be paid for to be able to reach us. It was there in history also, it was there in today also. How were the people paying for water earlier? Well, women of the houses would trudge, would walk to the water sources, the ponds, the rivers, pick up the water and bring it home. That was a cost in terms of the time that they spent in trying to get the water. So water has a cost, whichever way you measure it. Therefore, water cannot be given free. This is an important part of understanding of what happens with water supply in cities. You cannot afford to give water free. Water was never free for the human civilization. So if water cannot be given free and water has to be charged, we enter in an interesting territory. Somebody then decides that if I am going to charge water, either I am going to charge it very nominally, in which case what happens? In this case, water then becomes charged so nominally that wastage of water starts. Or the other thing happens. Chandigarh up north, just look at this news item, is going to pay €1 million every quarter to the European Union. Why? Because Chandigarh has promised, or rather the Chandigarh Municipal Corporation has promised from last year to provide 24/7 water supply to Chandigarh. Why would you need a 24/7 water supply? It's not electricity. People can, and in any city, in any place, people know how to store water. So make it available for a reasonable time. Remember, city governments do not charge taxes excepting property tax. City governments charge fees. That is the reason why they are there. They are supposed to provide a range of services, and based on those services they will charge fees. That is the medium of exchange between the citizens and the city governments. A state can charge tax, it's a sovereign entity. A central government will charge tax, it is a sovereign entity. A city government essentially, by definition, anywhere in the world, essentially charges fees. So this fees, setting of the fees, is a very important thing, because what does it do? If it cannot charge the fees, or it tries to waive the fees, then it essentially compromises the quality of the governance. What cities in across India are seeing is this problem, that by not charging fees for the water they supply, cities are getting into problems of governance. Since this fees is not coming through, cities are under-investing in water lines. For instance, the central government's Amrit scheme, the Amrit 2.0, recommends the development of a city water action plan focusing on used water treatment and reuse, with the aim of meeting 20% of a city's water demand through the reuse of the treated wastewater. So, who are the persons who will do it? It is to be the urban local bodies, the municipal corporations. They need to be therefore empowered to do so, to formulate and adopt long-term city-level reuse plans with financially sustainable provisions for implementing these projects. Those projects cannot happen if the fees are not commensurate. So, next time when we have a municipal election and we are concerned about water, my suggestion is citizens should not just vote. You know, companies send you a score sheet. When we go to a restaurant, people say, tick us for the quality of the services, which one did you like, which one you didn't like. Why don't we do the same thing for the city elections? Let's have a score sheet. Which ones did we work? Which ones did we find working? Was it water? Was it sewage? Was it electricity? Let us give an assessment sheet. Let us not just vote. I suspect this will do a lot in improving city level governance and putting pressure where it's needed. So next time when you get someone saying that we'll give you 24/7 water supply, don't jump at it. Be reasonable. We don't want a free food at the restaurant or a free anything. Instead, ask for a reasonable level of water supply. That will actually come rather than the promise of a 24/7 water supply as Chandigarh has found out. It'll work. And that's all from this edition of On Point. For a detailed description of what we discussed here, please visit my Substack. The link is in the description below. Thank you.